Okay. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali, and I'm blessed and fortunate to be one of the captains of your journey. You know, we call this thing millionaire minded because every day our goal is to help you go further, faster, with less effort. You know, and we truly believe that if we can make you a better entrepreneur, we can make the world a better place. Does that make sense to somebody out there? Give me a replay, gang, if you're watching the replay. I know we got the fam checking in. Good morning, King. I really feel like, man, entrepreneurs are the cream of planet Earth. I truly don't think anybody can see entrepreneurs pound for pound when it comes to this ability to change this world we live in. What's up, Tanisha? I'm glad you're here, Queen. You're going to get a lot out of this. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you share this broadcast with somebody. Who applied something that we learned yesterday? Y'all? Did you put anything into action? We started talking about all of these questions that help you discover your purpose. Did anybody get into that yet? Shouts out to my man Zoo, checking in on YouTube. Oh man, we love that around these parts. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. What's up, Charity? Hey, you know, make sure your folks checking in. Make sure you're letting them know we in the house. You know what I mean? We have our own club on Clubhouse now, y'all. I thought that was pretty cool. Did I tell everybody that already? That we got our own club now? So there's a millionaire-minded club now on Clubhouse. So that might be cool to kind of check out. We want to welcome you to that. If you don't know about Clubhouse yet, it's kind of like a talk app. You get to kind of talk it out on that thing. And what it does is it allows you to connect with people. You get a lot of networking done. My man D Money checking in. But if you don't know about Clubhouse yet, it's something that you may want to check out. We're about to get started in another couple minutes, everybody. Make sure that you subscribe to the page. You know, whether you're watching on Facebook or the YouTube channel, make sure you click that little turn on notifications button. My man Chuck Wu is in the house. Good morning, my brother. Glad you're feeling good, man. Good stuff. Zoo is a woman. Peace, Queen. That's just cracking. All right, y'all. So I was asking who applied something from yesterday. Who applied something that we learned yesterday? Anybody got anything they want to kind of share? Anybody? We're getting started in about 2 minutes, but anybody want to share any insights that they had so far? Yesterday we were talking about all these questions you can use to change your life. Did anybody get into that? I'm going to go ahead and call in on the live line now. It's time for us to get started. Man, please use those questions, y'all. Please use those questions. I know it gets so simple to kind of like, I don't know, write this stuff off sometimes.
Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
There are. Please enter your.
All right.
Thank you. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted.
Appreciate that, Allie.
Entry and exit tones are off.
Appreciate the love, Queen. Appreciate everybody who's sharing the broadcast. Good morning, millionaires. I know the whole Millionaire Mind Line ain't even get the greeting yet. How's everybody feeling today? I hope you're feeling incredible. I was asking them, you know, everybody that's watching on YouTube and Facebook, what they used from yesterday. You know, we gave you some powerful questions that can help you determine your purpose. And the reason that I wanted you to do that is because it's the first of these senses that we're going to talk about. The sense of selling, y'all, the sense of being an entrepreneur is the kind of thing that comes from you mastering like a series of these internal senses. Some of these senses are subtle, but some of them are blatant. You hear me? Check it out. Some of them are kind of complex. Some of them are really simple to understand. You get me? But the thing about these senses is that they literally hold the keys to your success. The reason that I thought it was important that we cover your purpose, y'all, is because this that I'm about to give you is not how to make a sale. What I'm about to give you is how sales are made. Y'all hear me? I'm not about to tell you, sometimes we talk about how to make a sale. Like, obviously, I'm a sales trainer, right? By trade, right? That's mostly what revenue is going to come from, even though we always say it's much easier to increase profits than revenue, right? But the whole idea is that normally we're talking about how to make sales. Today, I want to talk to you about how sales are made. There's a big difference, y'all. How to make a sale is technique driven. How sales are made is you understanding your senses as an entrepreneur. This is how you go from a sale to having sales forever. This is how you go from a customer to having clients. You hear me? So if you're ready for the first one, give me a number 1 and a share. Let's get this party started. Ping somebody into the room. If you're rocking with us on Clubhouse, my man Molly Mall in the house. Appreciate you coming through this morning, bro. All right, here's the first one, y'all. Here's the first one. You need a sense of self. The reason yesterday I had you kind of going over your purpose is because the first sense that you need to be aware of as an entrepreneur is your sense of self. You have to know who you are before you're able to project an image and a message that other people are going to accept and buy. You got to know who you are before we believe it. One of my favorite artists of all time, he got this line where he like, we don't believe you. You need more people, right? But the first person you need is yourself. You need to be able to sell this image that you want to sell to us to yourself. This sense of self, therefore, is at the top of the list. It's kind of like how we call it millionaire minded. And you see, we spend so much time on mindset. You hear me? Because it's really about your philosophy. It's really about your self-image. It's really about the fact that the customer is buying the entrepreneur way before they're buying what the entrepreneur is selling. Do you hear me? Does this make sense to somebody out there? Having a sense of self then means that you understand who you are in terms of how you help other people. It means that you understand who you are in terms of you really believe in what you do on a genetic level, but it's also the way you begin to carry yourself once you're aware who you are. It's the way you begin to present yourself. It's the way that you subliminally start to convey these qualities to other people. One of my mentors from afar was talking about running into Nelson Mandela. And, after he did all of this time, in prison and then came out and became president of the country. I mean, if we are not an exceptional people, then I don't know who is, right? I mean, we're just an amazing people. But at any rate, Nelson Mandela had such a powerful presence that he was talking about how when he would come in, first of all, people don't know this, but Nelson Mandela was like 6'4", 6'5". On top of that, he was a boxer before he went in there. So if you look at these old pictures, he's giving you Joe Louis vibes. You know what I mean? And a revolutionary. On top of that, he was a lawyer. So it's like, do you want it with the hands? Do you want it with these books? What you want? You know what I mean? Nelson Mandela was a wild dude. 6'4", wears size 14 shoes. But he had such a powerful presence that you can go to multiple sources and they'll tell you how when he would come in a room, the temperature would drop 4 degrees. That's power. Maybe you've experienced something like this on a smaller level, right? Because maybe you've been around a pastor or a man of the cloth and all of a sudden you don't want to curse. Their presence turns you into a different person. Isn't that interesting? So what I'm saying is, how well do you know yourself? That's why I started off asking who really used these questions from yesterday, because the first sense is your sense of self. If you're ready for number 2, then give me a number 2 and a share. That's why that stuff was important yesterday. Remember yesterday we said you need to talk to 3 of your friends, kind of holler at them like, hey, what am I good at? What do I suck at? Where do I need to improve, right? You need to get a sense of self, y'all. But here's the second one. Here's the second one. Appreciate those shares, millionaires. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Here's the second one, y'all. A sense of others. A sense of others, millionaires. Making a sale becomes a much simpler process when you understand the person that you're trying to help. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense? But it's a sense that many entrepreneurs never sharpen. They never think to sharpen it. You know, I was just having a conversation with one of my mentors that I see, you know, in the comments right now yesterday. And we were talking about this idea that we got to get fully bought into the concept that we're here to help. Once we get fully bought into the concept that we're here to help, certain moves we can make become so obvious, y'all. Direction becomes a foregone conclusion because they're telling you what they need. They're flat out telling you their problems. They're flat out telling you their needs, and therefore giving you multiple opportunities to become number one on their list. But if you're not looking for it, you'll miss it. Millionaires, this whole sense of others goes way beyond your product knowledge. It goes way beyond your product presentation. Your sense of others is all about how well you understand the mental readiness and the mental acceptance of this prospect, of this lead, of this customer that you're trying to turn into a client. Never forgetting that customer is just somebody that buys from you. A client is someone who's under your protection. You got to share this with an entrepreneur. What this will create is this buying atmosphere. And what'll make them, you know how when I'm teaching the comfort curve, and we got them 3 P's of the comfort curve, because nobody buys instantly, but they all buy eventually, right? And when we're talking about the personnel file, I always ask you, I say, because you never get a second chance. I say, why are you taking notes on this client? I always say, because you never get a second chance to make a what? A second impression. You know, they always chime in, you know, when you're doing a seminar, the first impression is like, nope. They already knew who you was. They already knew you represented this company. It's that second phone call where you get to blow them away with your sense of others. Millionaires, that second phone call is when you get to blow them away and create this buying atmosphere because you remember their daughter's name. You remember what they're going through at their job. You remember the project they're working on. You remember the problem they expressed to you having. And then you also kind of like pulled out and, you know, inferred different problems that they have based on what they gave you. Now you're able to tell them stuff that they didn't even tell you. Appreciate the shares, Tiara. Appreciate the shares, Ali. Appreciate the shares, Dennis. Do y'all hear me? Now, all of a sudden, you're creating a buying atmosphere, millionaires, because whenever you're able to describe the problem the best, you automatically create the assumption that you got the best solution. Millionaires, just you having a sense for the other person creates a buying atmosphere. It shows them you understand their feelings. It shows them you understand their emotions. Now you're able to craft questions and value statements and insights in terms of what they need. You just became millionaire minded, somebody. Now you're able to take your product or service and explain it in terms of what they need. That changes everything. You got to share this with an entrepreneur. If you're ready for number 3, give me a number 3 in a share. Give me a number 3 in a share. If you know an entrepreneur, tag them. This is how we save ourselves, y'all. A rising tide lifts every boat in the bay. And if we can save more entrepreneurs, we can make this a better world, because it's the entrepreneurs that push civilization forward. Without the entrepreneurs, mankind grinds to a halt. If we don't get better at what it is we do, we're leaving this world to chance. We're leaving this world to those that don't have the best intentions for it. Millionaires, it's up to us. Here's the third one: a sense of surroundings. Millionaires, a sense of surroundings is the third sense that every entrepreneur needs to sharpen, because most salespeople make this fatal error of not getting comfortable in their environment, not creating a sales environment. And then because of that, they get nervous. Because of that, they get anxious as they're presenting their message and all of that. And this is especially going to be true when you're in their home court. Remember yesterday we were talking about home court advantage and how these athletes are these multi-millionaire peak performance specialists, and yet you can still set your clock by the fact that they're going to perform better when they're at home. Is that because of a certain zip code? No, of course not. It's because of the energy. It's because of the energy that comes from environment. Millionaires, it's up to the salesperson. It's up to the entrepreneur millionaire to not just, adapt to the surroundings, but also bust little moves to set the surroundings, set the context, explain what it is we're here to do that day. Make sure you listen and repeat back to them what it is they need to accomplish in your own terms. You get what I mean? Millionaires, what I'm saying is you have to have a sense of your environment. The key to success here is being relaxed, being adaptable to whatever happens, not losing your cool if the room changes up on you. The essence of charisma is always going to be, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. Y'all get that? The essence of charisma is always going to be, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. That's why the charismatic person makes the joke first. That's why the charismatic person jumps out there and can give the compliment without wondering if they're going to get one back or some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? The charismatic person will jump out there and talk to the person of the opposite sex. Maybe even crack a joke about them that they normally don't hear because everybody else be kissing up. It's all coming from the essence of this. No matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay. Millionaires. That's how you have that sense of surroundings. That's number 3 for today. If you're ready for number 4, give me a number 4 and a share. I got one more for you. Sense of surroundings, y'all. When you make that phone call, what are you doing to set that environment so that you're the one in control and it's obvious to all who survey, right? What are you doing to make sure you're prepared? Don't forget, the will to win is really the will to prepare. Are you ready? Are you setting up your mental environment, which we call a mentality, right? Are you setting up the living, breathing environment around you, which we call a culture, right? Right? A culture. Are you bringing somebody with you so that it's at least 2-on-1, right? Do you have an assistant with you who's handing out the pamphlets so you look more like a man or woman of stature? What are you doing to set up the environment? Y'all get what I mean? What are you doing to enhance your posture, advance your status in that room, in that scenario? All right, here's the last one I got for you, y'all. Sense of situation. Sense of situation. Sense of situation. Oh man, this is a big one, y'all. Sense of situation. What do we mean? What do we mean? The biggest flaw, if you ask me, in all of entrepreneurship is concentrating your presentation and going past the opportunities to make the sale that's all around you. I'm going to tell you something. You need to be able to live in the moment and adapt. You should not be, if you are thinking one size fits all. Now, I understand we all are looking for automation in every way possible, but do you understand that's us? The customer's looking for customization in every way possible. And sometimes the two can't meet without you in the middle. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. And if you find a way to beat the system, you can do that. But my point is there are advantages to still having to be right in the mix of action with them. There are advantages to the fact that you don't have it so automated that you're stuck in a certain mode. And one of those advantages is that you can turn on a dime. It's also an advantage you have as a smaller entrepreneur versus whoever the big dog is in your industry. You can turn on a dime. You can stop at the drop of a hat. And so the whole point of it is that, do you have a sense of the situation so you can use your ability to adapt so that you can take advantage? Because that's the fourth sense that every entrepreneur, he said, right now we have a huge thing about to happen in the world of real estate where this eviction moratorium is going to end at the end of June. Maybe you guys have heard that. Well, what is that going to do? That means people are going to get evicted, because if they owe for 5 months and they're paying $2,000 a month, that's $10,000 they got to come up with, or they're getting evicted. Same thing with the landlord, because the landlord may have this property where nobody's paying, this one. So what's going to happen? A lot of property is about to be on sale, because we're about to enter what's called a recession. But when you're financially literate, you understand recession is just when assets go on sale. So there's going to be a lot of us who are going to double our net worth, triple our net worth, quadruple our net worth. Some of you are going to get out there and 10x your net worth just because you have a sense of the situation that's going on. Just because you're getting with your family and friends and preparing their credit now. You're preparing their business credit now. You're getting together in enclaves and groups and clubs, and you're saying, we're going to partake in this wealth transfer. Millionaire, that's because you have a sense of the situation. You hear me? Man, Blockbuster didn't have a sense of the situation when the owner of Netflix, Mr. Reed Hastings, walked through the door with this new idea. They laughed him out the building. Kodak did not have a sense of the situation when Instagram came to them and offered themselves up for sale. And what happened? Instagram has, obviously, right? Kodak invented digital photography. How is Instagram eating their lunch? Because somebody didn't have a sense of the situation. Millionaires, are you failing to pay attention to the signals that are offered to you by the buyer, that are offered to you by the environment, that are offered to you by the, watch this, competition? Are you paying attention to the situation? Think about it. And one of the easiest ways to establish a sense of the situation is to keep on asking questions, millionaires. Questions that draw out interest, questions that draw out desire to take advantage, questions that draw out previous experience, questions that draw out the opinion that they may hold, right? Because the more you ask, the more you're going to understand. Does that make sense? Y'all know I love a good question. You know, I hope right now y'all getting some good questions ready for Free Coaching Friday. But here's the rule. The more you talk, the less chance you have of winning that client. So those are the big four. That ain't all of them. You know, I got more. We'll give you more. You rock with us every morning. You know what I mean? But I challenge you to study these. Our goal is to not overwhelm you. I just want to give you something to chew on. And I challenge you to study these even before you talk to your next prospect or lead or look to make your next connection. Apply them to your thoughts, apply them to your actions, and watch your whole life change. As speaking of change in life, we about to get to our affirmations. I hope that feel good to somebody out there. If you've never tried affirmations, call this phone number we just now gave you. I bet you it'll change your life. You will find yourself hearing the affirmations in your mind while you minding your business. You're going to hear yourself saying stuff like, I am now a millionaire. Can I get a witness, somebody? So call that number. Try it out. Millionaires, repeat after me. I am so